Like an actor's job is to learn every moment they breathe, because you don't know what's going to come in handy in portraying a character. I'm very surprised that people can base and rate things on anything other than the content, be it the favoritism or nepotism or whatever it is. It's very surprising.
Hi guys, this is Ankita. You're tuned into PeepingMoon.com. So 2020 is coming to an end, but we do have a surprise. Before we end the year, before we say goodbye to few memories which were not so pleasant, there was definitely one thing which was constant, and that was good entertainment. Be it
Yeah.
any platform, be it any, be theater, OTT, actors from all across generations, age no bar, gender no bar. So this time we are bringing to you your very, very favorite Barun Sobti, who's not just going to talk about what he loved about his work in 2020, but actually what he also loved about others' work in this year. So let's make it quick. Hello, Varun. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. You tell me if I have to ask you in simple terms, knowing that of course the year has been a mixed bag of emotions, we do know, but one positive thing out of 2020, if you have to point out, what it will be.
Uh, Personally, I have a very young daughter at home, so I got to spend a lot of time with her. And overall, I think everything's a lesson, and anything that doesn't kill you makes you stronger. So yeah, whatever you wanna, learn out of this whole thing, it was a very different experience this whole year. I won't call a lot of people have called it a bad year or whatever. I don't know what to call it, but it was definitely a testing time for sure, because I'm sure everyone, because like you said, it was a mixed bag of emotions. Sometimes people were scared because no one knew what was happening, and then there's enormous amount of bad news as well. But it had its pros. I think I really think that there's a huge twist that's come, at least in our industry, entertainment industry, and that's because people sat back home and watched a lot of content. So that worked in the favor of at least all the people who were in the OTT space. So that was the one personal gain I feel.
Varun, we can't move ahead before we first talk about two of your performances. I'll start with mine personal favorite, Asur, followed by
Mm.
Halal. What was how if you just have to give me Asur even after this entire 1 year, and what's the irony is it came right before the lockdown. Nobody
Right
knew,
before the lockdown. It was the last show actually, I think, that came out before the lockdown.
and nobody knew this would become the first binge one in
Right.
the starting days, and binge it was. It turned out to be
Right.
one of the top 10 series, I would say, for the year. How do you feel about
Right.
it?
It was definitely uh, we didn't expect that. Very clearly I remember that feeling that we were not sure how it was going to do, because there was a lot of questions. There was a lot of times we were questioning the format, the storytelling. Was it too challenging for the viewer and stuff like that? So when it did come out, we loved the fact that people love to rise up to the occasion and see that challenges their intellect and stuff of that sort. In fact, meeting people after the lockdown now. The first thing they mentioned to me is that we saw a certain one day, and one go it happened. It was just so intriguing. So the first feeling that I had, I mean, we felt really accepted actually. Were highly motivated after that, and I'm sure a lot of people in the industry also were highly motivated by a show like us doing well, because this genre just didn't exist in India, and I watched so much content, based on this, based on psychologies and stuff like that. I just remember I was extremely ecstatic when I was asked to be a part of it. Then my first reaction was, why are they casting me? Was the first thing that I thought. And it's been a very, very welcome surprise.
Varun, then suddenly there was a stark change. We saw you in Halahal as a cop, someone like a person like you. I couldn't even imagine mouthing any kind of galis in the first place or even the bad language. And then it was you. How satisfying
Right.
it's for an actor within this span to deliver two stark performances. Is there a fear always that, audience just loved you in something and you want to encash on that, or it's okay to let go?
I've never believed in that kind of. So if I was doing, if I was in cashing on my image, I would still be doing a chocolate boy, But I've never thought of doing that. I've always wanted to be satisfied as an actor. It's an extremely satisfying feeling, if you do the job as per your own understanding and will. Of course, किसी को पसंद आती है, किसी को नहीं आती है. Thankfully, in my case, there was all, everyone was. It's a brilliant performance in both the things, Halal and Asur. But I was actually very everyone's very used to seeing me as the well-spoken boy, Botamiz wala and everything, which I am. I'm not saying I'm put on a fast, but see, I come from Delhi and a very vast spectrum of friends that are all kinds, and you have you can't be when you're with your friends, you have to talk their language, you have to behave like them. I'm not saying I do that out of compulsion. I love all of my friends, so that's where the learning happens. Like an actor's job is to learn every moment they breathe, because you don't know what's going to come in handy in portraying a character. So I was very confident of Halal when I was doing it. I just didn't know with the though Halal was, I still feel it's very underrated, but still the scale of industry people it reached was pretty high. I didn't expect that. Like Asur was blown out of proportion. It was ekdam, crazy. But Halal still, the people it reached, the word of mouth it gained, the kind of things people were kind enough to say about me, I was still not expecting that, even that much. But it was very
Uh,
satisfying.
Varun, we all know that you love content. Like you have always said that you consume good content, bad whatever content means content. It works for you. So this
Mm.
year, if I have to ask you, what's Varun's top picks, like be it an OTT or films? Do you have anything, or can you run us through a list? Like what do you recommend? Be it performance, be it in direction or storytelling.
Oh,
What was your
phenomenal performances this year. There was a lot of good stuff, but that's it's not true that I love all kind of content. To be honest with you, you might want to call me a cinephile, but I get like I you have to be really honest, and I'm that kind of an audience. Like I like with my performances, I uh, love to not. I love it if there's not one false note in the performance, not even one false note, because the audience feels betrayed and they just turn away. They turn their back on the whole product. And I'm also like that. So if there's one false note, I just get put off and I just can't watch that thing anymore. So I love good content, yes, and I have enormous amount of respect for good content. Within the top picks of the, I'll talk about specific things. First of all, I'll talk about Ram Singh Charlie on Sony Live. This was a film produced by Sharid. If I don't know if anyone is aware or not. So Sharid was a part of the show Asur as well. And while we were shooting, he showed me a promo of this film, and he was like, "We're having a very difficult time bringing this film out." So the first thing I want to say that, and I was like, "Yeah, damn, nahi yaar, ye pata ye मुश्किल होता है ऐसी फिल्मों के लिए." And I saw the promo and I loved it. I loved the promo. And when I saw it, I think it's on Sony Live, right?
yeah?
It's okay, I don't remember. I saw it when it had come out, and I was so ecstatic. So that's a huge thumbs up to the space. I think the films like these are able to come out, in India, and people like them. I love the film. I absolutely love Kumbh, and so that was the one big thing. The other thing that I would want to talk about is Gunjan Saxena. So when the movie had come out, I'm very surprised कि हमारा जो मतलब आवाम how mob mentality works. When it had come out, I think it was shunned by the people because it had a star kid and stuff like that. So I'm very surprised that people can base and rate things on anything other than the content, be it the favoritism or nepotism or whatever it is. It's very surprising. I remember that I looked it up in IMDb when I started watching because I like the promo a lot. So I think it was very badly rated. It was really shunned, and I saw the film and I loved that film. It was a beautiful film. I thought it was one of the finest performances of Mr. Pankaj Tripathi for the whole year, is what I felt, and the whole cast for that matter. I loved that film. It was maybe I'm a little I related to it a bit because I'd recently become a father. I have a daughter. Maybe I don't understand what it was, but I loved it. Thirdly, I loved Scam. a lot. Because and the huge win was that there is no piece of uh, work entertainment that has been done so well that is period in India ever. So that I think the direction and the whole team for that matter applause. They did a fantastic job. And there's so much actually. There's so much. But one thing I think that really stands out is Patal Lok as well. I think Patal Lok was a good show, but and Jaideep alone made it a phenomenal show. Is what I felt. He was fantastic in that show, and just goes to show the power of performances can do. It also goes to show what amount of abundant talent is packed in the industry and has to be explored still. Uh, then I also really liked Thappad because the whole subject was very sensitive, and usually people get carried away and want to start preaching the whole thing. So I thought it was a very delicate subject, and it was dealt with very delicately. It was very simplistic, and the execution I thought was phenomenal.
But that's really sweet. But Varun, if there is one thing, time नहीं मिलागा 2020 में और अगर कुछ wrap up करना हो next few weeks में, is this something which is definitely on your watch list? Like you're waiting but time मिल जाए.
Uh, Not really, actually. मेरे को I make time if I there's so much American content यार अगर वो वाली बात है तो the point is that India में especially with the kind of competition there is now there's there is fabulous stuff coming out, but there's also very kind of stuff also coming out. So you have to be very careful at this time, at least, with respect to if you're an actor, if you're a part of the industry. I think it's a very, very sensitive time for you to make or break your career with respect to the choices that you have. Of course, what you do on the set is a different thing altogether. But the choices that you want to make for all the people that are actors, directors, producers, this is going to be a very crucial time.
And Barun, lastly, before I sum up, I have to ask you, don't kill me for asking this. You made the quietest entry on social media. My DM has been spammed. I have been asked that
Mhm.
why there was no noise about it. I have been asked that what was it? How did it happen? So kindly just say something to those souls who are genuinely, I think they're in heaven. You have no
Uh,
idea how
no, my
spam
whole
friendly it
idea
is.
there was a lot of people who had a lot of ideas, and they were like, let's do this, let's make a smash, let's make a bang and entry and everything. So my idea has always been simple. I don't want to promise anything that I can't live up to. And so there was, and that's my life fundamental as well. If I make relationships, if I get into any kind of work, I don't promise more than I can deliver. Eventually what happens is that people are not expecting anything from you, and even if we expect end up delivering a little bit, people get very happy. I've always noticed that. So I'm not making any commitment. I'm going to try as much as I can, be active on Instagram, try to tell a meaningful story, maybe. So that's why the big splash.
That's really sweet. But Barun, this I really hope while this year has ended on a high note, 2021 starts on even a better one. The next interview we sit for should be what is Barun doing in 21, so that we definitely have another, good work to just binge on. That's even really kind of you to give this time
Yeah.
first of all.
Yeah, but 2021 looks really promising as well. I think I have not had such a promising creative year to start with before ever in my career. So it looks really good. Let's hope for the best.
But I'm hoping equally that this also works wonders for you. And thank you so much for your time, for your recommendations. I hope that soon we meet another for another stint, another interview, and this time, what's in 21 for Barun? Thank you so
Hopefully.
much for your time, Barun, as always.
Thank you, Ankita. Thank you so much.
Bye.